I am powerful. These words are not just affirmations, they are declarations. When you speak them with conviction, they go far beyond the surface level of your mind and plant themselves deep in your subconscious. You may not see the change immediately, but the shift begins the moment you decide to claim your power. Most people move through life believing that their circumstances define them. They wait for external validation, for someone to give them permission to be great. But the truth is, no one will hand you the life you dream of. It is yours to claim. It is yours to create. And it all begins with the belief that you are powerful. Real power does not come from control over others. It comes from control over yourself. It comes from knowing that no matter what life throws at you, you have the strength to rise, to respond, and to grow. You don't need perfect conditions to feel powerful. You need awareness. You need intention. The moment you decide to stop doubting yourself and start believing in your own inner force, you unlock something incredible. You start to walk differently. You speak differently. Your energy shifts. And the world begins to respond to that energy in ways you never imagined. Many people were told they are not enough, that they are too much, too little, too different. And over time, they internalize that message and let it become their identity. But your true identity is not what someone else said about you. It is not the label you were given, the mistake you made, or the fear you carry. Your true identity is powerful, it is bold, it is limitless. You were not born to shrink to fit someone else's expectations. You were born to stand tall, to take up space, to leave your mark on the world. Affirmations like I am powerful work because they bypass the conscious mind's filters and go directly to the subconscious, where your beliefs are stored. When repeated with emotion and focus, they begin to rewrite old programming. You might not believe the words at first, and that's okay. You've spent years believing the opposite, but with time, consistency, and intention, the new belief takes root. The subconscious mind does not judge. It simply accepts what you feed it repeatedly. Feed it fear, and fear grows. Feed it power, and power grows. Imagine waking up each day and reminding yourself of who you really are. Not the version of you shaped by fear or failure, but the one driven by purpose, by passion, by potential. You look in the mirror and say, I am powerful. And your posture straightens, your eyes sharpen, your mind clears. You begin to attract situations, opportunities, and people that mirror the strength you now embody. You're no longer waiting for signs, you become the sign. You're no longer looking for the path, you become the path. Being powerful does not mean you will not have moments of doubt or fear. It means you face those moments with courage. Power is not the absence of weakness, it is the ability to rise despite it. It is choosing to keep going when it would be easier to give up. It is showing up even when your voice shakes or your heart races. Every time you choose to act from a place of power rather than a place of fear, you strengthen that inner muscle. And just like a physical muscle, the more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply remind yourself, I have a choice. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not helpless. You have a choice in every moment, in every situation, in every season of life. And the choice to believe in yourself, to own your voice, to follow your intuition, to protect your peace, to push forward, that choice is your superpower. You were not meant to live a life of limitation. You are meant to rise beyond it. When you begin to believe in your power, others start to believe in it too. Your confidence becomes contagious. Your presence becomes magnetic. And it's not because you're pretending to be something you're not. It's because you're finally showing the world who you've always been. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs originals. It needs people brave enough to own their truth, to speak with conviction, to lead with heart, and that starts with you. People will ask, how did you do it? And the answer won't be luck or timing. It will be belief. It will be the unseen hours you spent shifting your mindset, repeating those affirmations, pushing through resistance, and choosing power over fear. It will be the inner work that no one saw but everyone feels in your presence, because true power doesn't need to announce itself. It's felt. There is a version of you that is unstoppable, a version that speaks with certainty, moves with intention, and lives with passion. That version is already inside you. You don't have to create it. You just have to uncover it. And the way you do that is by affirming it, by speaking it, by living it every single day. So the next time you doubt yourself, pause and say it out loud. I am powerful. Say it until your voice stops shaking. Say it until your heart starts believing. Say it until your subconscious begins to accept it as truth, because it is the truth. You are powerful. You are capable. You are already enough. Power is not given. It is claimed. And today, right now in this moment, you claim yours. You are not your past. You are not the pain, the regret, the loss, or the choices you once made when you didn't know better. You are the one who made it through. You are the one who survived. And now, in this very moment, you stand on the edge of something greater, not because someone handed it to you, but because you are finally ready to let go of what was and step fully into what can be. So many people stay trapped in cycles, not because they are weak, but because they believe that their past defines their limits. They replay memories like a broken record, holding on to guilt, shame, and fear as if those emotions are proof of who they are. But they are not. The past is done. It served its purpose. It taught you, shaped you, burned you, and rebuilt you. But it does not get to be your prison. It does not get to be your identity. You have the power right now to create something entirely different. Your power lives in the present. This moment is where your future begins. This breath, this heartbeat, not tomorrow, not next week, now. And yet, many people waste the now by reliving what they cannot change or fearing what hasn't happened. They forget that life only exists in this exact second. The future is nothing but a mirror of what you create today. So, what are you creating? You cannot build a new life on old pain. You cannot create joy while clinging to bitterness. You cannot expect abundance if your mind is anchored in lack. The shift begins when you decide that today is the moment you release the story you've been telling yourself. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. Every second is a fresh start if you have the courage to see it that way. Creation is not some mystical event. It is action. It is mindset. It is belief. It is what you choose to focus on when you wake up in the morning. It is the words you speak to yourself when no one is watching. It is the decisions you make when fear whispers in your ear. Creation is discipline. It is vision. It is emotional maturity. It is deciding that your life is a reflection of your choices, not your circumstance. You are not meant to live on autopilot. You are not meant to wake up, go through the motions, and call that living. You are a creative force. You are designed to dream, to build, to shape reality with your thoughts, actions, and emotions. But if you keep recycling the same thoughts, the same habits, and the same language, you'll keep creating the same life. And deep down, you know you were made for more. So start here, start now, start with one thought, start with one decision. Start by saying, I get to choose differently. That's where power begins. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need a perfect plan. You need presence. You need to be fully aware that your life is unfolding with or without your participation. And when you do engage, when you do take the wheel, everything begins to change. You can't control everything, but you can control how you show up. You can control your energy. You can control your reactions. You can control what you focus on. And whatever you focus on, you feed. If you keep feeding the past, it will grow. If you feed fear, it will multiply. But if you feed faith, confidence, action, and love, they too will expand and take over. You are the artist and your life is the canvas. The colors may be messy, the strokes may be imperfect, but each one is a choice. Each one tells a story. And today you pick up the brush again, you begin again. Not because you failed, but because you are growing, you are evolving, you are choosing to see the blank space instead of the stains. That is creation, that is transformation. There will be moments when your mind tries to pull you back. It will whisper that nothing's really changed, that you're still the same, that this is who you've always been. But those are echoes of a version of you that no longer exists. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to grow past your mistakes. You are allowed to become someone the old you never imagined. And the way you do that is by staying rooted in now. This is the truth. No one is coming to rewrite your story for you. You hold the pen. You decide what the next chapter says. It can be one of defeat and delay, or one of clarity and courage. The choice is always yours. It's never too late to be the one who changed everything, not just for yourself, but for every life you touch. When you become intentional in the present, you reclaim your life. You stop surviving and start living. You stop reacting and start creating. You move with purpose. You speak with power. You see with new eyes. The world around you may not shift right away, but your inner world does. And that shift is what turns everything else. You are not bound by history. You are fueled by possibility. You are not here to repeat patterns. You are here to break them. And every day you choose presence over the past. You gain a piece of your power back. You may have been knocked down. You may have lost time, but you are not out. You are not done. You are just getting started. Everything you want is waiting on the other side of now. All it takes is the decision to believe that this moment matters, that this second counts, that who you are becoming is more important than who you used to be. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present. You don't need to know the whole path. You need to take the first step. And that first step can be as simple as saying, I am ready. I am willing. I am here. The past has no power unless you give it power. And the future is not written unless you write it. So start writing, start creating, start choosing now, and watch how life responds. Because when you live fully in the present, you live fully in your power. Resilience is not a gift. It's not something you're born with, or something that magically appears when life gets hard. It's something you build. It's forged in silence, strengthened in struggle, and revealed in moments when most people would rather give up. Resilience is choosing to rise when you've been knocked down. It's the fire inside you that refuses to be extinguished, even when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. You may not feel strong every day. You may not wake up each morning ready to conquer the world. But resilience doesn't mean you're never tired. It means you show up anyway. It means you continue to move forward even with trembling hands, even with a shattered heart. Because something inside of you still believes there's more to live for, more to give, more to become. The world doesn't see what you carry. It doesn't see the quiet battles, the invisible scars, the internal wars you fight just to make it through the day. But you know how many times you could have given up and didn't. You know how many times you cried in silence and wiped your own tears, pulled yourself back together and tried again. That's resilience. That's strength most people will never understand. It's not glamorous. It's not always loud. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed when every part of you wants to stay down. Sometimes it's simply refusing to quit, even when the progress is slow and the rewards are unseen. Resilience is not about pretending everything is okay. It's about accepting the pain and moving through it. It's about understanding that suffering is not weakness, it's part of the process. Growth is messy, healing is uncomfortable. But every time you push through discomfort instead of running from it, you build your inner armor. You train your mind and spirit to stand tall in the face of chaos. You are not meant to be unbreakable. You are meant to be unshakable. There's a difference. Being unbreakable suggests you'll never feel pain, never face hardship. But life will challenge you. It will test your limits. You'll lose things you thought you needed. You'll face setbacks you never expected. But the resilient don't break forever. They bend. They bend hard, but they come back stronger. You may fall, but you do not stay down. You rebuild with a fire that's even harder to extinguish. Think about the times you didn't think you could go on, but you did. The days when your mind told you to quit, but your heart whispered just one more step. Those moments are your proof. You don't need anyone to validate your strength. You've lived it. You've earned it. You've stood in storms that would have swallowed others whole and made it out wiser, tougher, more determined. Resilience isn't loud. It doesn't need attention or applause. It's silent discipline. It's the choice to show up again and again when no one is watching. It's doing the hard things without needing to be praised. It's holding on to faith when the evidence isn't there yet. It's believing that every setback is a setup for something greater. Even if you don't see it now, you will get tired, you will question yourself, you'll wonder if all the effort is worth it. But resilience says, keep going, not because it's easy, but because you can. Because deep down, you know quitting is not an option. You've come too far. You fought too hard. You owe it to yourself not to let this be the end of your story. The hard seasons don't last forever, but what they teach you will stay with you for life. Pain will visit, but it doesn't have to stay. Failure will knock, but it doesn't define you. You are not your losses. You are not your mistakes. You are the one who rises, who learns, who adapts. Resilience is not about never falling. It's about rising faster, wiser, with more clarity each time. You grow not by avoiding difficulty, but by facing it with courage and persistence. You become unstoppable, not when everything goes right, but when nothing can keep you down for long. Every no becomes motivation. Every closed door becomes redirection. Every delay becomes preparation. That is the mindset of the resilient. They don't ask for comfort, they ask for strength. They don't hope things get easier, they become tougher. They don't run from challenges, they walk through them with their heads held high, knowing each step forward is a victory. You don't have to wait for things to get better to become better. You don't have to wait for the pain to pass before you decide to heal. You begin right where you are with the strength you have today, with the breath you are taking now. You begin by deciding that no matter how many times you fall, you will always choose to rise. Some of the strongest people are not the ones with perfect lives. They're the ones who faced the worst and still chose to love, to trust, to hope, to dream. They didn't let bitterness define them. They turned pain into wisdom. They turned darkness into fire. And so can you. You've already proven you are resilient. You're still standing. You're still here. You're still moving forward even when the road is unclear. And that in itself is a powerful declaration. You are not done. You are not defeated. You are simply being refined. And every challenge is shaping you into someone who cannot be shaken. Someone who walks with quiet confidence and unbreakable resolve. The world may try to break you. Life may try to wear you down. But you are still in the fight. You still have breath in your lungs. You still have a voice. And as long as you do, you have everything you need to keep going. Abundance is not just about wealth. It's a way of thinking, a way of seeing the world, a way of living. It's the belief that there is more than enough opportunity, more than enough love, more than enough success, more than enough time for you and everyone else. An abundance mindset is not reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It's a conscious decision to stop looking at life through a lens of lack and start seeing it through the lens of possibility. When you think with scarcity, everything feels like a competition. You look at someone else's win and feel like it's your loss. You compare, you doubt, you shrink. You're afraid to take risks, afraid to give, afraid to trust. You hold back because you're convinced that there's only a limited supply of good things. And if someone else gets it, that means there's less left for you. That's a lie. Life is not a pie where someone else's slice means you get less. Life expands for those who choose to believe it can. The abundance mindset says, there is room for me. It says good things are not just possible, they are available to me. It shifts your energy from fear to faith, from grasping to receiving. You no longer operate from a place of desperation. You operate from trust. You trust that the right people, the right ideas, the right moments are making their way to you, and more importantly, that you are prepared to receive them. Money is a part of abundance, but it's not the whole picture. True abundance includes freedom, fulfillment, peace of mind, joy, deep relationships, creative expression, spiritual connection, and meaningful impact. When you truly embody abundance, you realize that wealth is more than numbers in a bank account. It's the ability to live fully, give generously, and wake up every day knowing that you are not lacking anything you truly need. The most powerful thing about the abundance mindset is that it creates your reality. What you expect, you attract. What you focus on, you feed. If you walk through life believing that doors won't open for you, that you don't deserve success, that you'll always be behind, then your mind will find ways to confirm that belief. But if you begin to shift, even slightly, and start expecting things to work out, opportunities to show up, people to support you, then you begin attracting those very things into your life. This is not magic. It's not wishful thinking. It's energetic alignment. It's neuroscience. It's faith in action. Your subconscious mind is always listening, always recording, always shaping the world around you based on the input it receives. If you tell it over and over that you're not enough, that things never work out for you, that life is hard, it will continue to create that as your reality. But when you begin affirming abundance, speaking life over yourself, seeing through the eyes of possibility, your subconscious starts to work for you instead of against you. The moment you shift from asking, why is this happening to me, to what is this making possible for me, everything changes. That's when you take your power back. That's when you stop waiting for permission and start creating your own breakthroughs. You begin to see that obstacles are often opportunities in disguise. Delays are often divine redirections. Setbacks are often setups for something bigger than you imagine. People who live in abundance are not always the ones with the most. They're the ones who recognize and celebrate what they already have while believing more is on the way. They are grateful, but not complacent. They are humble, but not apologetic. They give freely not because they have so much to spare, but because they trust that what they give always returns multiplied. They understand that giving and receiving are part of the same cycle, and that closing yourself off to one closes you off to both. To live with an abundance mindset is to walk through life with open hands, open heart, open mind. It's choosing to believe that the universe or God or life itself is working in your favor. It's refusing to live small just because others are uncomfortable with your light. It's knowing that your success doesn't threaten anyone else's and theirs doesn't diminish yours. It's trusting that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and that even if it's delayed, it's never denied. Abundance is also about courage, the courage to invest in yourself, to take bold steps, to believe in your ideas even when no one else does, the courage to speak up, to try again, to raise your standards. An abundant person doesn't stay stuck because of fear. They move forward in faith, knowing that action aligned with belief opens doors that fear would have kept closed. Scarcity will tell you to play it safe. It will tell you to hold on to what you have, not share too much, not hope too big. It will convince you that disappointment is safer than dreaming. But that's not living, that's surviving. And you were not born just to survive. You were born to expand. You were born to grow. You were born to overflow. You were born to live a life so rich in purpose, passion, peace, and prosperity that it touches everyone around you. Abundance is not about having everything. It's about recognizing that you already have everything you need to begin. You don't have to wait until everything is perfect. You don't have to wait until you have all the answers. You just have to begin from where you are, with what you have, and with the belief that more will come. That belief becomes your foundation. That belief becomes your strength. That belief turns into habits, words, and actions. And those habits shape your reality. You will have moments where fear returns. You will have days when scarcity whispers in your ear, but you always have a choice. You can always return to truth. You can always remind yourself that abundance is your birthright, not a reward for perfection. You don't earn it. You align with it. You step into it. You breathe it. You speak it. You become it. Because the moment you believe you are worthy of more, the world around you begins to reflect that belief back to you. Your energy speaks before you say a word. It fills the room before your feet cross the threshold. It's not your clothes, your title, or your bank balance that people feel first. It's your energy. It's the vibration you carry, the frequency your spirit emits. And when you cultivate a deep, unwavering sense of positivity, when your energy flows from a place of inner strength and authenticity, you become magnetic, not in a forced or superficial way, but in a way that draws the right people, the right moments, and the right opportunities directly to you. Positivity is not pretending that life is perfect. It's not walking around with a fake smile, ignoring pain or reality. It's choosing how you respond to life, no matter what it throws at you. It's the power to create beauty, even from chaos. It's the ability to hold space for your emotions, but not let them define you. Positivity is strength in motion. It's resilience with a smile. grace in the face of uncertainty, and hope that doesn't crumble under pressure. People are drawn to positive energy because it gives them permission to feel safe, inspired, and seen. In a world filled with fear, doubt, and negativity, true positivity is rare and powerful. It doesn't come from circumstances, it comes from within. It's a mindset that says, even if things are hard, I will find a way. Even if the path is uncertain, I will move forward. Even if I'm struggling, I still believe something good is ahead. That energy shifts everything. It changes how you see life and how life sees you. When you carry a positive vibration, you start noticing how doors open without you pushing. People begin to help you, not because you ask, but because they feel your spirit. They sense your gratitude, your presence, your clarity. You become someone who lifts rooms rather than drains them. Your words carry light. Your presence becomes a solution. You're not just existing, you're radiating, and others want to be near that light. It's easy to fall into the trap of negativity. Life gives you plenty of reasons to feel discouraged. But you must remember, you always have a choice. You can choose to focus on what's missing or what's present. You can choose to carry anger or to carry grace. You can choose to let pain close you off or let it break you open and expand your compassion. Your energy reflects those choices every single day. Positivity does not mean life will never test you. It means when life does test you, you respond in power, not panic. You operate from love, not lack. You respond with patience, not pressure. And when people witness that kind of stability, they feel it, they trust it, they want to be part of it. Because true positivity is not surface, it is soul. You may not realize it, but your thoughts, your words, your emotions, they all carry energy. And energy doesn't lie. You can't fake what you truly believe. If you believe you're not worthy, the world responds accordingly. But if you walk in the belief that you are valuable, that you are light, that you are here to make a difference, then the world reflects that too. Not because it owes you anything, but because you are operating in alignment with truth, and truth has a frequency that always returns to you. There is something deeply powerful about becoming the kind of person who speaks life even in silence. A presence that radiates calm when others are anxious. A person who, even in chaos, can still carry peace. You don't need to be the loudest to be felt. Sometimes it's the ones who are still, grounded, and full of grace that shift everything. You become a mirror reflecting back to others the possibility of what they can be, and in doing so, you create a ripple effect of change just by being yourself. Your magnetism doesn't require effort when it's rooted in authenticity. You don't have to chase opportunities. You don't have to beg for attention. When your internal energy is aligned, things begin to find you, and they're not drawn just to your appearance or your resume. They're drawn to your essence. Because people will forget your words, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And if you make people feel seen, heard, understood, and uplifted, you will never have to chase anything. It will all begin to orbit around you naturally. Positive energy is also protective. When your mind is focused on gratitude, growth, and possibility, you build emotional immunity to toxic influences. You don't take everything personally. You stop needing validation. You become rooted in purpose rather than swayed by praise or criticism. You rise above drama because you're tuned into a higher frequency, and as you stay consistent in this energy, you begin to notice your life reshaping itself to reflect your mindset. Relationships improve, health stabilizes, creativity flows. Why? Because positivity doesn't just change your mood, it changes your biology, your reality, your entire world. And this is why it's so important to guard your energy. Not everyone is meant to walk with you. Not every environment is meant to host your presence. Protect your space like it matters, because it does. Be intentional about what you listen to, who you spend time with, and how you speak about yourself and your life. Feed your spirit with light, and light will be what you give and what you receive. The most magnetic people aren't always the loudest. They're the most aligned. They know who they are. They know what they stand for. They know the value of their energy and don't waste it on things that don't grow them. You can feel their presence, and it makes you feel stronger, more hopeful, more alive. That's what true magnetism is. It's not about drawing attention, it's about drawing connection, and connection always begins with how connected you are to yourself. Your energy is your message. It introduces you before your words do. It tells people what you believe about life, about others, about yourself. When you radiate positivity, you give permission to others to rise, to heal, to hope again. You become a reminder that no matter how heavy the world gets, light is still possible. And it begins with one person who chooses to shine. Let that be you. There is a kind of success that isn't measured in money, titles, or applause. It is measured in stillness, in the calm you carry in your chest, in the ability to breathe deeply even when life is loud. That is inner peace. That is joy. And when you possess them, truly possess them, no storm on the outside can steal the sun from inside of you. Inner peace is not passive. It is power. It is the kind of power that doesn't shout, doesn't beg for attention, but stands tall in silence. It is the quiet knowing that no matter what the world throws at you, your center remains unshaken. People often chase joy in external things. They look for it in promotions, in relationships, in validation, in things they can buy or prove. But joy isn't found in what you collect. It's found in what you release. When you stop chasing and start being, when you stop needing and start appreciating, when you stop controlling and start trusting, that's when joy enters, like breath flowing into lungs that had forgotten what fullness felt like. Joy is not something you seek, it's something you uncover. It's been within you the whole time, hidden beneath the noise, waiting for silence to bring it to the surface. Inner peace begins the moment you stop allowing other people or circumstances to dictate how you feel. It is not about living a life free of chaos. It's about choosing calm in the middle of it. It's knowing that your mind does not have to mirror your environment, that your emotions do not need to react to every trigger. It's the freedom to feel what you feel without being ruled by those feelings. You become the observer, not the prisoner. And that choice, that emotional awareness, is where peace begins to grow. You don't find peace when everything is perfect. You find peace when you decide that your soul is more important than your ego, that your growth is more valuable than your image, that your alignment is worth more than approval. You stop trying to be everything for everyone and start being everything you were meant to be for yourself. And that's not selfish, it's sacred. Because when you are whole within, you give from overflow, not depletion. You become someone who doesn't just perform happiness, but radiates it. Joy is not loud. It's not constant laughter or endless positivity. Sometimes it's a quiet morning with a warm drink. Sometimes it's a deep breath after a long day. Sometimes it's knowing you spoke your truth, even if your voice shook. Joy is presence. It's being exactly where you are, not regretting the past or fearing the future. It's noticing the little things, the smell of rain, the sound of music, the feeling of your heart beating, and realizing this is life. This is the gift. And when you live in that awareness, even for a moment, joy flows in naturally. You don't have to earn peace. You don't have to prove yourself worthy of joy. These are not rewards for perfection. They are your birthright. But the world has taught us to ignore them, to trade them for hustle, comparison, and control. And so we grow up believing that peace is a luxury and joy is temporary. But that isn't true. They are both choices. And the more you choose them, the more your life reflects them back to you. Peace is not avoiding conflict. It's knowing how to respond to it with wisdom. It's learning to walk away without anger. It's learning to forgive without needing to forget. It's the realization that not everything requires your energy, your explanation, or your engagement. Protecting your peace means protecting your mind, your heart, and your spirit. It's setting boundaries, not walls. It's saying yes to what feeds you and no to what drains you. And it's understanding that your peace is too valuable to be sacrificed for anything less than purpose. The world will test your peace. People will challenge your joy. There will be days when the weight feels too heavy, when your smile feels forced, when your thoughts are louder than your prayers. But even then, the choice remains. You can pause, you can breathe, you can return to yourself. You can remind yourself that your peace was never outside. It was always within, waiting to be reclaimed. Joy thrives in simplicity. It shows up in the present, not in a distant destination. It grows in gratitude. When you stop obsessing over what's missing and begin noticing what's already here, your life transforms. You begin to realize how blessed you already are, even if everything isn't perfect. You begin to realize that happiness doesn't have to wait until someday. It can exist in this exact moment. You just have to notice it, nurture it, and let it grow. There's a difference between temporary pleasure and lasting joy. One fades quickly, the other deepens with time. Inner joy doesn't come from external highs. It comes from knowing who you are, why you're here, and what truly matters. It comes from living in alignment with your values, your purpose, your truth. And when you live like that, joy becomes your baseline, not your goal. When you live with inner peace, you stop reacting and start responding. You stop rushing and start listening. You stop forcing and start flowing. Your life slows down, but it also becomes more full. Your decisions become clearer. Your relationships grow deeper. Your mind becomes quieter. And in that stillness, your spirit speaks louder than ever before. It tells you what's real, what matters, what's yours and what's not. You don't have to have it all figured out to live with peace. You don't need to be happy all the time to live with joy. You just need to be aware of your thoughts, aware of your energy, aware of the choices you're making. Because awareness is the beginning of all change. It's the doorway through which peace and joy enter. And once they enter, they change everything. The way you carry yourself changes. The way you speak to others changes. The way you respond to setbacks changes. You begin to lead with calm. You begin to think with clarity. You begin to walk with quiet confidence, not because you know everything, but because you've learned to trust yourself. That trust brings peace. That trust brings joy. And those two together create a life that isn't just successful, it's meaningful. It's grounded. It's free. You are enough. You always have been. Long before the world tried to convince you otherwise, long before people placed their insecurities on you, long before failure made you question your worth, you came into this world whole, nothing missing, nothing broken, and that truth didn't disappear just because someone couldn't see it. Confidence in your identity is not arrogance, it is not pride, it is a quiet, powerful certainty in who you are, what you value, and what you stand for. It's not built on applause. It's not built on likes, followers, or external success. It's built from within, rooted in truth, nurtured by self-respect. There is a strength that comes from knowing who you are and not needing to explain or justify that to anyone. When you walk in that awareness, your presence changes. You no longer shrink in rooms to make others comfortable. You no longer carry the weight of needing to prove your worth. You simply are, and that's enough. People feel that kind of confidence. It's magnetic, unshakable. It doesn't scream, it simply exists. And the ones meant to walk with you will recognize it instantly because real recognizes real. Your identity is not based on performance. You are not more valuable when you succeed and less valuable when you struggle. You are not defined by your productivity or your perfection. You are defined by your essence, your heart, your character, your intention. Confidence comes when you begin to detach from outcomes and attach to who you are, regardless of how life looks on the outside. It is the inner knowing that says, even if everything falls apart, I will still be standing because I know my foundation. The world will try to give you labels. Some will be flattering, others will be cruel, but none of them are your identity unless you accept them. You get to decide what defines you. You get to write your own story. And when you reclaim that power, you stop chasing roles you were never meant to play. You stop comparing yourself to others because you understand that your path, your pace, and your purpose are unique. There is no competition when you know that your light is yours and yours alone. True confidence does not come from what you wear, what you drive, or how much you earn. Those things may impress others, but they don't secure your soul. Confidence is built in the dark, in the quiet hours, when you keep promises to yourself, when you show up even when no one's watching, when you look in the mirror and like who you see, not just the image, but the soul behind the eyes. That kind of confidence is untouchable. It doesn't rise or fall based on opinions. It simply remains There's a version of you that exists beyond fear, a version that doesn't second guess every decision, doesn't apologize for dreaming big, doesn't wait for approval before taking action. That version is already inside you, waiting to be remembered, not created, remembered. Because confidence isn't something you add to yourself. It's what's left when you strip away the fear, the doubt, the shame, and the lies. What remains is your truth. And truth, when fully embraced, becomes power. You don't have to be loud to be confident. You don't have to be the center of attention. Confidence can be soft, steady, quiet. It shows up in your posture, in your eye contact, in the way you speak with intention. It shows up in how you treat others kindly, not because you're weak, but because you're secure. It shows up in your ability to set boundaries, to say no without guilt, to walk away from what doesn't align. You stop begging for acceptance, you become acceptance. You stop seeking love externally, you become love internally. And from that place, you attract what is aligned, not just what is available. Confidence also means embracing your imperfections. You are not flawless, and you don't need to be. What makes you real is what makes you relatable. The cracks in your armor, let your light shine through. Stop trying to hide what makes you human. Start honoring it. Your scars tell stories of survival. Your struggles reveal your strength. When you embrace your whole self, messy, evolving, growing, you give others permission to do the same. And that authenticity builds deep, lasting confidence. No one else gets to decide your worth. Not your past, not your parents, not your critics. You don't need validation to believe in yourself. You don't need permission to own your voice. Everything you need is already within you. Clarity, courage, creativity, leadership, intuition, purpose. Confidence is simply the act of trusting what you already carry. It's the shift from can I to I will, from I hope I'm enough to I know I am. Confidence isn't built in a day. It's built in daily decisions. Each time you choose yourself, speak your truth, follow your instincts, and do the hard thing, you grow stronger. And even when you fall, even when you doubt, you keep returning to your center. That returning, that relentless recommitment to who you really are, that's what builds unshakable belief. Not perfection, consistency. You are not lost. You are simply peeling back the layers. You are not broken. You are shedding who you are not. With every decision that aligns with your truth, you come home to yourself. And that home is where confidence lives. Not in comparison, not in validation, but in deep, unwavering self-acknowledge. So speak like you matter because you do. Move like you belong because you do. Show up like you have something to offer because you do. And don't wait until others see it to believe it. Let them catch up. Let the world adjust to your new frequency. You're not here to shrink, you're here to expand. You are enough, not because someone told you, but because you've decided to believe it. That belief, when fully owned, becomes your armor, your compass, your light, and no one can take it from you. Belief is not a one-time decision. It's a daily discipline. It's not just a feeling you get on good days or a thought that surfaces when everything is going your way. Real belief, the kind that moves mountains and transforms lives, is a choice you make every single morning, whether you feel ready or not. It is a quiet, constant commitment to yourself. It says, I believe in my vision. I believe in my growth. I believe in my worth, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Every day, you're being shaped by the thoughts you entertain, the words you speak, and the habits you repeat. The mind doesn't simply respond to what you want. It responds to what you practice. And if you practice fear, doubt, procrastination, and self-sabotage, your belief weakens over time. But if you choose to practice faith, focus, consistency, and gratitude, your belief becomes a force so strong that nothing outside of you can shake what's inside of you. Belief begins with the words, I am. Those two words have creative power. Whatever you attach to them, you begin to become. I am strong. I am disciplined. I am unstoppable. These aren't just affirmations. They're instructions to your subconscious. They're codes being written into the operating system of your mind. And when repeated daily with emotion and conviction, they override the outdated scripts of I can't, I'm not ready, or I'm not enough. But belief doesn't work unless you work. You can't just say it. You must align with it. You must show up like the version of you that already believes. You must act like the future is already unfolding for you, because that energy creates momentum. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust. And every time you break one, you chip away at that belief. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Without it, belief becomes wishful thinking. With it, belief becomes destiny. Some days you won't feel like doing the work. You won't feel inspired. You won't feel confident. And that's where the discipline comes in. Because champions are not made on the days they feel like it. They're made on the days they don't. They win because they keep going when motivation fades. They believe not because they see results, but because they've trained their mind to focus on the process, not just the outcome. They understand that belief is not proven by how loud you speak. It's proven by how consistently you move forward. You may have a vision so big it scares you. You may have a dream that feels far away, but every big outcome begins with a small act of belief. Every transformation begins with a decision to take the first step, and then the next, until momentum takes over and doubt can no longer keep up. You don't build belief by waiting until you feel confident. You build belief by moving forward even while fear is still in the room. There will always be voices, both external and internal, telling you that it's too late, you're not good enough, or it won't work. But belief is the refusal to listen to anything that contradicts your purpose. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. It's the unwavering choice to stand in your vision even when no one else sees it. You are not required to convince the world, you are only required to convince yourself. Because once you believe, the world begins to adjust. Daily belief is not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. It's choosing to feed your mind with truth every day, to move your body, to speak life into your circumstances, to focus on progress over perfection. It's waking up and asking, who am I becoming today? What am I choosing to believe about myself? Because belief is not just something you hold, it's something you live. It's in your routine, it's in your tone, it's in your posture, your eye contact, your follow through. When belief becomes your lifestyle, doubt can no longer lead. Some people wait to believe until the results show up, but the truth is the results only show up after belief. You can't harvest what you didn't plant. You can't skip the season of growth just because you're eager to shine. The seeds you plant with your belief today may take time, but they're growing even when you don't see them. And one day when the breakthrough comes, it won't be a surprise. It will be the result of quiet, consistent, daily belief. There will be setbacks. There will be silence. There will be moments where it seems like nothing is happening. But belief is the discipline of continuing anyway. It's getting back up after failure. It's trying again after rejection. It's speaking life into yourself when no one else does. It's waking up and choosing to walk in the identity of your future self, even while your current reality looks nothing like it. You are building something far more valuable than success. You are building identity. You are becoming the version of yourself who no longer needs external proof to feel powerful. The version of you who keeps going even when it's uncomfortable, who refuses to settle even when settling is easier. That version of you is real, and it's created through discipline. There is a war for your mind every day. The world wants to distract you. Fear wants to control you. Doubt wants to paralyze you, but you have the power to choose what wins. You can choose to train your mind like a warrior, feed it with strength, guard it from negativity, lead it with vision. And when belief becomes your daily weapon, nothing can stand against you. It doesn't matter how slow it feels, how small your steps are, or how long it takes. What matters is that you're still moving. You're still choosing. You're still showing up. That is the real victory. That is the proof of belief. It's not in the highlight reel. It's in the discipline behind the scene. You don't need to believe everything will be easy. You just need to believe you won't quit. That you're capable of learning, growing, and rising again. That you're built for more. That you are already becoming what you once doubted you could ever be. And as you repeat that belief, every morning, every action, every word, it becomes the foundation for a life that nothing and no one can take away from you.